Hey guys, what's up? It's Eifflin here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to farm Titania Prime, the Corinth Prime, and the Pangolin Prime, or Pangolin Sword Prime. Let me just go ahead and make sure that I got the name right. I'm pretty sure it's just, yeah, it is just the Pangolin Prime, not the Pangolin Sword Prime. Bro, they priming stuff and changing the name slightly. It's throwing me off and confusing me whenever I make videos. Also, look at this really cool new, walking or floating animation. Also, Titania Prime just looks really sick. But yeah, besides the point, come to your codex, go to universe, go to relics and arcanes, top left hand corner in the search bar, type in Titania, and then you can see the relics, which are going to drop the parts for the Pangolin Prime, the Corinth Prime, and Titania Prime. So on the Axie T5 relic, we can see that it drops the Titania Prime Systems Blueprint. Nothing else on it that we need. Then on the Lith M5, we got the Titania Prime Blueprint. Then we go to the Meso E4. We get the Titania Prime Neuroptics Blueprint. And then the Neo M3, we've got the Titania Prime Chassis Blueprint. And then that's about it for those relics. Then we got to type in, of course, the name of the Corinth, right? So you can see that on this Axie T4, we've got the Corinth Prime Blueprint. And then on the Liv C4, or C6, sorry, we've got the Corinth Prime Stock. On the Meso C5, we get the Corinth Prime Barrel. And then on the Neo R4, we can get the Corinth Prime Receiver. And then last but not least, the Pangolin. We've got the Axie G4, which is going to give us the Prime Blade. Then the Meso R3, which is going to give us the Prime Handle. And then the Neo P1 is going to give us the Blueprint. So whenever it comes to actually farming these relics, you just got to do the missions that usually drop these particular kinds of relics, right? So for lift relics, people like to do Orcan Derelict Defense. They like to do Spear on Mars, stuff like that. So, you know, any low-level mission is going to give you lift relics. You're talking Earth, Venus, Mercury, Mars. Then whenever you get into, I believe, Ceres, that's when you start to get your Mesa relics and whatnot, because, you know, you start to shift tiers in the tier of drop table, right? So as the enemy level gets higher, you're going to be getting different relics. So on Sedna, you're going to be getting your Axie and stuff like that. So you go Spear on Mars, Orcan Derelict Defense for your lift relics. Then for your Meso, I like to do the node Io on Jupiter. You know, I bring the legs of Saren, I bring the legs of Equinox. You just stand in one spot, you do 10 waves, you get 2 relics, you back out, then you go back in. But realistically, you can do anything, like maybe up to, let's say, Neptune or something to get a bunch of Meso relics consistently. Then past Neptune, you're on the Pluto, you're on the Sedna. You know, you can go to... Where is that planet that everybody hates? It's got Xeni on it. It's connected to Pluto. It's Eris. I couldn't see it on the map for some reason because I'm blind. But on Eris, people do Xeni, and you get a mixture of Neo and Axie relics on here. So this is where you would go to, you know, get your Neo and your Axie relics and stuff like that. Of course, there are other game modes that you can do to farm specific relics more efficiently. I don't know the exact drop chances for the Titania Prime, Pangolin Prime, and Corinth Prime stuff off by heart, off the top of my head. But I do know that generally, if you were to farm these nodes, you would come across a few of these relics, you know, a few times whenever you're playing these nodes. So it's something that I recommend farming up passively. I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to farm anyway. Just play a bunch of missions in the star chart, level up your weapons and whatnot. Like, that's usually where I get the most of my relics from anyway. If I go to Sedna, Hydron on Sedna, whenever I'm leveling up my new items, I get a lot of relics for the stuff that I need to farm up here. So Hydron, you can definitely get it there. You can get them doing a lot of different activities on Sedna and just a lot of different activities in general. So just play the game as normal, and then you are going to get the relics that you need eventually. If you try to specifically farm for the relics that you need to get the likes of Titania, the Corinth, for the Pangolin, you're probably going to stress yourself out because there are so many different relics in the game now that it's becoming increasingly difficult to sort of pinpoint farm particular types of relics from my experience. experience anyway. Other people out there might have like really efficient ways of farming particular relics and stuff like that, which probably makes the game a little bit more tedious than it needs to be. So for example, I know a lot of people like to run the heist missions in the Orb Valis with, you know, the likes of Vault or Octavia or something, and just speed run one of those missions to get particular types of relics. I've tried that before. Not really for me, so I recommend, just from a casual player perspective, just farm your normal stuff, your day-to-day, do your sorties and stuff like that, level up your weapons in Hydron or even in Elite Sanctuary Onslaught or whatever the case may be, and then if you really have to, you can do some of the missions that I just mentioned to get the relics for your Titania Prime, your Corum Prime, your Pangolin Prime, and all of that stuff. But let's just go ahead and take a look at the stats of everything that we've got in this Prime Access drop. So if I go ahead and I compare my Titania to my Titania Prime, we can see that regular Titania only has 100 armor, where Titania Prime has 125. But then my Titania is actually max rank, so I believe all the stats are higher at the minute, so I need to go ahead and rank up my Titania Prime to actually do a comparison. So yep, forgot about that. That's big old whoopsies. But let's compare the Corinth to the Corum Prime. So let's type in the Corinth. The Corinth is one of my favorite weapons, so it's going to be interesting to see. Corinth to the Corum Prime. The Corinth has a longer reload, but it's got a lower status. It's got a lower fire rate, lower magazine. This time we've got a higher magazine. Holy shit. The Airburst has a higher fire rate on the regular Corinth and a faster reload as well. So, oh, we get the faster reload on the regular Corinth. So that's interesting, but lower stats in terms of status. I don't know. That's not much of a big difference. Maybe there's some gimmick that I haven't played around with the Corum Prime yet, but let's go ahead and take a look at the Pangolin and compare that to the Pangolin Sword. Okay, so basically a straight upgrade. The Pangolin Sword, or the Pangolin Prime, is way better than the Pangolin, but I need to go ahead and level up my Titania Prime. This is the build that I'm running thus far on my Corinth. I need to invest a ton of Forma into this, so I need to put on a few more Vs and whatnot to make my usual build, which I think I might actually change up because of the Riven that I have. I don't think this build is 110% accurate anymore, but it's still a pretty decent build. I've seen a lot of people disliking the Corinth in my top 10 weapons to get for 2020 video, and you guys are sleeping on this weapon. Like, it's really an insane weapon. All it takes is a little bit of effort to aim it. Maybe that's why people don't like it. I've seen a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, the Fulmin's great. I'm not a big fan of the Fulmin. I think it's an easy weapon to use. It's not necessarily one of the better weapons in the game. It's just like one of those weapons that you can aim in the general direction and then enemies are gonna die. I was able to fit on my Pangolin Prime builds straight away. So I got my Blood Rush for my crit, my Violent Scourge, Vicious Frost, and Drifting Contact for my status, Berserker for attack speed, Organ Shatter for critical damage, Condition Overload for my damage, and then Weeping Winds obviously to help out with that status chance. But yeah, Titania Prime, she looks really crazy. This is her in default, and then of course you also get a Cyan Dana with it as well if you buy the access pack. That's Ivara's. Let me see if I can remember the name of this one. Is it this one? Yeah, so this here is the Cyan Dana that you get with Titania Prime. I'm not a big fan of using Cyan Danas on Titania because, as you can see, it sort of like lumps over her wings, or whatever you want to call these back things. I want to go ahead and put that there one on the Fashion Frame one that I have, just to see what it looks like, if I can remember the name of it again. There it is. So let's just go ahead and color it. Yeah, I'm probably better off rolling with no Cyan Dana because the accents that you have on the back of Titania Prime, they just look far better. I don't know. Titania Prime is just a really cool looking frame. Sort of reminds me of like a Jester. I wish Mirage Prime or regular Mirage had a helmet sort of like this, where you had like these big things coming back on it. Just like a cooler look, a cooler aesthetic to it. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to go ahead and level up my Titania Prime because she is my Lephantis killer and what I use to carry myself through Plague Star. But massive props to the animation team in this one. This one is this walking animation is really damn cool. I mean, I suppose not a lot of work probably went into it, in the sense that, you know, it's just lifting the frame off the ground and bending the knee and then bending the arms back type of thing. Maybe this here animation, like going from moving to still, I don't know, I'm not sure. Not an animator or anything like that, but yeah. Titania Prime, really cool. Go ahead, pick her up, go get those relics, farm her up. She's probably going to be a really easy farm. And yeah, let me know how long it takes you guys to farm with Titania Prime in the comment section below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more Warframe content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.